Welcome to episode 2 of Parents of the Year podcast with myself, Andrew Stewart, and my lovely wife,
Caroline Bazanko.
the Doctor, Captain, Professor. Are we doing the formal titles? No.
We can use formal titles, but that'll mean nothing to anybody.
Well, it just builds credibility for you.
Doctor, Professor, Captain. Is that what it is? Something like that.
It's got to be Professor, Doctor, Captain, I think.
Professor, Doctor, Captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's another episode. So for today's episode, it is my turn to ask the question and for the Professor Doctor to answer it and as best as she can. And today, the question is, what is your biggest regret?
Oh, that was one of my questions I was going to have for you.
I have no regrets. I'm awesome.
Oh.
Parent of the Year.
I have no regrets either. That's a good answer.
Short episode. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in episode 3.
Because we got to learn from them. We got to learn. We got to show.
So you can ask
kids,
me a question in a later episode and I'll answer it.
No, okay. Regret. Okay, no, I know Willow right off the bat. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pinnacle. Well, actually, there's 2. This isn't as influential as the next one that I'm going to say, but this is why I tell parents not to freak out and to use your mirror neurons, which is in your brain. If you show confidence, your children will feel confident. But unfortunately, as parents, one of the traps that we fall into is, slow down. Oh, you're too high. Come down from the tree. Get down. You're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. And and we make our kids scared of everything and scared of the world.
Parents.
Most parents. What does that mean?
Out of the 2 of us, who is the most likely to say, hey, too high, come on down. Hey, too fast, slow down?
You?
Yeah. So I don't know why you're setting it up like you're some cautionary tale.
As actually on that note, I know I'm always like, adventure. And the girls are like, we hate your adventures. They're bawling and having panic attacks. I just took my youngest skiing in the off-roped area, and there's literally signs saying, don't touch any dynamite. Yeah,
not avoid it, not dynamite in the area, steer clear. Just, hey, if you see it, don't touch.
Like, there is dynamite, don't touch it. And she's like, what the heck? So we took a picture because that was awesome. And then we're skiing down this avalanche area where everywhere it's avalanche. And then all of a sudden we hear an explosion right above us. It was pretty scary. I'm like, all right, well, there's not much we can do. Like, try to ski as fast as you can. But anyway, there was a time she was learning to climb the stairs, and it was a pretty steep set of stairs right onto hardwood. And she was going up, and I kind of freaked out because she'd never climbed up, and she had got to the top, and she's still toddling, like she's still not steady on her feet. And she stood up right at the top of the landing, right on the edge of the stairs, but her back facing downstairs. And so I went, the very thing that I shouldn't have done. And at the time I was holding one of those Fisher-Price airplane things. Mm-hmm. And she, of course, got startled. Eyes went big, turned around really fast to look at me to see what I was freaking out about. And guess what? Fell down the stairs. And so I went running after her, and I did catch her. But as I did it, I smashed her head with the stupid Fisher-Price airplane because apparently I couldn't let go of it when I went to catch her. And concussion. So again, we don't want to freak out because that will freak them out. And I should know that when I drive with my mother and she's like, every 2 seconds, slow down. She's grabbing the thing. And I start getting really...
See, this would be a perfect spot to splice in Willow's impression of Grandma and Grandpa driving. Let's save that for the editing. Okay. So that's how would you have avoided doing that? Knowing everything you know, how would you have been able to do that differently, that whole situation?
I wouldn't have made any noise. I would have calmly put the airplane down.
But I guess my question is more, are you really capable? If that was your initial instinct, how do you know that you can actually do that and do it the other way you think you should, or you
No, I
learn should.
am better now because I do see dangerous situations where I'm just like, oh yeah. And I like smile and I try to show my confidence, even though inside I'm like, oh my gosh, be careful. Although I don't really have a lot of be careful moments, but when I do know enough now. And I really do think that I would have quietly still gotten over there just in case, because obviously I had enough time to get over there.
Yeah, you wound up and hit her with the plane.
Exactly. So, I think that, but the biggest one that still sits with me to this day and haunts me is there is this, I don't know, do you call it an app or program?
Yeah, just like a website or whatever, a holiday website.
It's PNP Santa is what it is. And you can get Santa to send emails to your kids or like videos to your kids, or Santa will call home. And one of the things they do is they go through, oh, you're 3 years old and you live here, and they'll show you a picture of your house and your pets and your presents in your family. And, you've been a good girl this year or whatever. And you can put, have they been naughty? Have they been nice or undecided? And we were having a really hard year with Willow this one particular year. And I put undecided, thinking that it was actually going to be pretty funny because I'm a bit of a prankster and I like pulling pranks, but most of the times it's probably my ADHD brain. It backfires and I'm like, ooh, that was probably not a good idea. And this is definitely it. I put not decided. And her sister got to see her video. She was on the nice list. Willow came to see hers. And oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. She was so excited. And then it came up as yellow, that it was undecided. I forgot to say that I'm a crybaby, you guys. And just the way her face crumbled, like I still remember it, and it ripped my heart apart. And her little face, she was always the sunshine. She was always so happy and so just, she was sunshine. And her little face just crumbled and her eyebrows furrowed down. And I think between that and the concussion, it just changed her whole personality. She was just never the same again. And I blame that moment. I know Andy probably wouldn't, but I blame that moment because her eyebrows have just always been furrowed and she's not been the same happy girl. And I blame myself for that one stupid thing, and that's why punishment doesn't work. And it wasn't meant to be a punishment, but it was really just, I can't even remember what it was about. Like undecided, you really got to get along with your parents or with your sister, something like that. Yeah. And just, her little face crumbled and her face has just stayed crumbled ever since. That's probably my biggest regret for her.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything from regret. I think it definitely had an effect, but I don't think it changed her as much as you feel it did. And I get why you would think that. And yeah, it's definitely wasn't the punchline you were going for sure. But just to the nature of the whole buildup is we were having a tough time because of the behaviors, and that all was kind of there. And she's an emotional kid, man. She's an emotional driven kid.
And I don't think she even remembers that. Like, no. It's not something that I talk
Guaranteed
about.
She's probably outside the door right now listening.
Probably.
She'll question you about it later.
Or no, because if we're here, she's probably with her sister sneaking a TV down in the basement. But yeah, that would be probably the biggest regret. It sits with me forever and ever.
What about with Maya?
Oh man, with Maya, there's so many things, like so many little things, not as influential. Like, man, that takes Parent of the Year award right there. Yeah. So many little things with Maya that build up. There was a time where we used to hold her door closed at nap time because she, like, I knew went from the womb that she had ADHD, and she was probably about 2, I would say. Like, she was out of a crib before she was 1.
Well, she was an early walker, right? So she was,
walking at like 10 months or something.
Yeah, she was motoring by a year.
And out of her crib, she was just crawling, and she would, crawl out onto her. We had her change table right next to her crib. So she would hoist herself up onto the change table and then use that as a ladder down. So then we moved that slowed her down for about 2 nights before she figured out she could use her monkey toes to get out of the crib. But anyways, it was a nightmare getting her to nap, getting her to sleep. And there was one day that I held the door closed. And I think we even put a lock on our door for a little while.
We did it for a day. We switched the door handle so the lock was on the outside.
Right.
But we quickly changed it back. Like, that's dumb. Like, if something happens, we got to be able to get it out of there quick. So that's why we ended up holding the door. And I remember holding that door for hours, like sitting in the hallway with my hand cramping, holding that door so she couldn't pull on it anymore.
Yeah. Because she was just, but the point was just this tiny little voice, please don't lock me in.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart. And so that was the first one. Oh, actually, not even the first thing that I remember that I regret, but right away we changed. We're like, Kate, this isn't working.
The irony, of course, with her, though, sorry to cut you off, is she never leaves her room now. So the question is, as a teenager, did we create that behavior by forcing her to stay before?
Well, it never worked then.
No.
You know what? I think, like, just missing. I was doing my master's with her. I was doing my PhD with Willow, but I learned, like, with her, I missed so much. I remember, I'd have her on her little play mat next to me as I'm trying to write papers. And the first time, she must have been like 2 months old, I heard her little rattle. Mm-hmm. And I'd look and I'd be like, oh, because she'd have that little rainbow thing above her with little toys that she could reach and bat. And I was like, oh my gosh, do it again. I could hear it, but I missed it. She just wouldn't do it. But you know what? I think the next big thing was the day she didn't come ask me to play.
All right.
Every single day she came to ask me to play Barbies, and I was always on my computer. And I hated playing Barbies. That was the one. I would play anything else, but Barbies, I hated. And I'd go and I'd play for about 2 seconds, and then I'd get frustrated. And I'd be like, I got to go work. And then I'm like, well, if you don't want me to play anyways, I'm just going to do my paper. But I was always writing a paper, doing school. And, but she was always asking, and, it was getting pretty stressful. And I'm like, no, kiddo, I can't come now. I'll come in a bit. No, kiddo, I can't come now. I'll come in a bit. But, a bit hardly ever came, because then she's playing good, and then she doesn't need me. And then I can get a few more minutes of my paper. But I remember the day she didn't come and ask me. She just walked right past my office door, straight into the playroom. And again, she was probably only like 2 years old. She was itty bitty. That broke my heart. And I went in like right away. I'm like, hey, kiddo, do you want mommy to play with you? No, it's okay, mama. Like, I know you're busy, as a 2-year-old would say. So I think with her, that kind of sticks with me as a regret, but I don't think it's as influential as the Willow story, only because we have such a good relationship. And I don't think long-term it's done any effect, right? Because she is, we have a really strong relationship, and I've learned, that is the benefit. I have learned from these things, and I'm using that to help other parents too. Not sort of, we all make mistakes. We all got to learn from it.
I know. So do you think, though, because I see the 3 of you, I see the 5 of you, and 4 of them follow you everywhere.
So 2 dogs, 2 girls.
2 dogs, 2 girls. And all of them follow mom. The whole house operates on mom. When mom's home, when mom's working, when mom has time to hang, it all revolves around you. So you just said that you didn't see that it had an effect on your relationship with Maya because you're close. Do you not feel the same with Willow?
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
Like
not what you meant.
for
Okay.
Willow. Yeah. So for Maya, I was worried at that time about our relationship,
Okay. I get
right?
it. Yeah.
Like the whole attachment piece.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried because I know that we have a really strong attachment now. But with Willow, it wasn't so much about our relationship. It was just her sense of who she is, her own self-esteem, her own confidence, and the sunshininess. So it was more about her personality that I still worry about today. So it wasn't about a relationship. It was just who she is, who she bees. And she's just not that same girl anymore. And I feel like,
I don't know if she ever would have ended up that girl though.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to give you get out of jail free, but that kid is me with a vagina, like at the same age, the same behavior. She demonstrates a lot of need to make people feel happy, and she's insanely in tune with minor changes in the emotional state of things, right?
I think it's just seeing the glass is always half empty, which she never was before that.
True. And whether it was that or whether it was accumulation of stuff, I don't know, but I agree that is something that she has to deal with. That's a tricky one because it definitely had an effect, but I don't think it had that big of an effect.
Yeah, so it's hard to say. Sliding doors moment, right? Like we wish, like, just to see, but it's learning from that. And, I try not to prank the girls so much anymore. What do I? Yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, you do. Like, I'd be more worried if I was you. I'd be more worried about ruining my relationship with the girls, just with how much you try and kiss them. And deep down, I know they love it, and they just put up a fuss. But yeah, you're all in on that.
I do love kissing them and having samosa. I squeeze them really hard. I'm gonna samosa you and give them kisses.
Yeah, and it gets weird in public. I had a question too. I was going to ask you a follow-up. Shoot. It's gone.
That's okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add rather than just ending on a squat?
No, like, I think I could go on and on. I think there's a list. I always tell parents, here's your baby, your newborn baby, plus 5 pounds of guilt that's compounded daily for the rest of your life. Because I think every day we do things, and every day I make a commitment. Okay, the minute I see the girls, I'm going to close my computer. But then it's like, oh, just one more thing, right? But I think it's being able to take that every day. I like to set my intentions for the day, in terms of productivity, my work, what I need to do, but also, what kind of mom do I want to be? And then at the end of the day, reflecting, what went well, what can I work on for tomorrow? And I think that, the past little while I have gotten out of that. And I think COVID too is just easy to get into really bad. Yeah. It's kind of ruined everybody getting into bad habits. But I think that's helpful for us as parents to be just one thing, maybe I can smile at the girls more. Maybe I can, when I come home, you're right. Actually, I never thought of it. When I come home, all 4 of them
are at the door
greeting me. And
they're all fighting in their own way for your attention.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
It's funny. Maya goes crazy when I come into her room because she's like, you got to leave because you're like a duck. I'm like, what do you mean?
Everybody follows you.
Because everybody follows you. Your little ducklings follow you everywhere. And then now they're all going to be in your room, in my room. And I'm like, no, they're not. And sure enough, within 2 seconds, everybody's in her room up on her bed. And so just thinking about that, when I get home, what kind of parent do I want to be? Or when I wake up, what kind of parent do I want to be to help get the kids off to school? So thinking about when our witching hour is, and in that time, what kind of parent do you want to be? And if it blows up in your face tomorrow, what's one little thing that you can tweak? And I think that's what we can do. There's no such thing as a perfect parent, right? And it's just being able to learn from what we didn't like, what we can do a little bit better.
So once again, for the listener, she's referring to herself when she says there's no such thing as a perfect parent. I'm pretty rad. So as the final question for this episode, what is the one thing you'll do tomorrow differently than today in regards to the girls? because I bought them pizza tonight, so I'm good.
Mm-hmm. I am good in the morning. The minute I see them, I drop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And much to Maya's dismay, because I'm right outside her door working out when she wakes up. Her room's in the basement. I give her a big hug and kiss. You know what? We are down one child tomorrow night because one's going to go for a sleepover. And the other one, I think, just giving her my full attention because she's the easier one. She's the teenager who hides away. So it's really easy just to get a little bit more work in.
Yeah.
And I think being able to come home right away and just be with her and focus all my attention on her. I'm trying to be mindful and like stare at them more. It's not staring, it's being mindful and enjoying them and loving them and just like appreciating, like just being able to be mindful in their presence. But Maya like caught on and covered up her face with a blanket. So I'll try not to be creepy while I love her tomorrow.
And then what are you going to do about Willow the next day? She can't get off with just, we're down a kid, so I'm only going to do one thing.
Oh man, I got to do two.
Yeah.
See, Willow and I do good.
Yeah, you guys actually, to your credit, you play a lot of games.
Willow and I do good. She's my little sidekick. I think for her though, I do get frustrated with her still when it's past bedtime.
Oh.
And she comes out. I had her well trained. She knew not to come get me after 8 if anything happened. But I think that making sure I respond in helpful ways, that she's still going to bed feeling loved and not crying and upset because, now parenting duties are over and mummy's has to work. Yeah. Still feeling like,
All right. Those are 2 good ones.
Okay.
That's it. That's the end of the episode. You did good.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
A little bit of a cry, but that's all good.
Just a little get out of your system.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.